Yo, Kimberly, why you talking like you ain't from Brooklyn? Stop trying to be something you're not. Stop trying to be someone you're not. Oh my gosh, Kimberly, you speak so well, but don't you feel like you're ditching your roots? Where do I, Kimberly Hurd, fit? When you're stuck in the middle of two environments that are polar opposites and you conform to both, how do you recognize which version of yourself is real? How do you learn to love both sides? From Brooklyn to Queens, I grew up around many different kinds of people. As a young, impressionable girl, I followed the example left by the adults around me. I spoke how they spoke. I walked how they walked. And I wanted to look how they looked. I wonder when I started to see my individuality as disgusting. Maybe it was when my curly hair was called distracting to the class. Maybe it was when the woman at the grocery store told me I needed to speak properly or I wouldn't make it. Maybe it was when my third grade school photographer said, man, you would have looked so much nicer if your hair was pressed out. To those who commented, it may have seemed like advice. Their advice brewed inside of me for years. I buried myself underneath my layers of hated dark skin and kinky roots. The extrovert that I was crumbled away, and Kimberly Hurd faded with each passing day. The internal war that comes with an identity crisis caused a cascade of issues that I, at 12 years old, had to deal with. Each year, I became quieter, and motivation was nothing but a memory. Before I knew it, I was letting time leave me behind. Fast forward to 9th grade year. I lost my keys and got myself locked out of the house at least 4 times a week. It drove my mom crazy. She said, enough of this. You're going to the Boys and Girls Club. For a recluse like me, there was nothing worse. All right, first day, the Boys and Girls Club. We're gonna get this over with as painlessly as possible. I see a desk over there in the corner. Perfect. Not. I started my afternoon off by writing to myself, and due to the efforts of a Boys and Girls Club staff member named Miss Ayaba, I left that evening as an applicant for the Morel Brown Poetry Contest. Thank you. Standing on that stage, watching people who were genuinely interested in what I had to say was the most free I had felt in a long time. Before I knew it, when it came to the Boys and Girls Club, I was in everything. Keystone, a character and leadership development program, Career Bound, and even a cooking class. And to this day, I burn ramen noodles. I'm so serious. The program that meant the most to me at the club was Global Girls, a club specifically designed for young women just like me who were having trouble finding their own voices. Walking into an environment where you were not alone in your struggles, full of young girls who uplifted each other, not only had a positive influence on how I treated others, but also how I treated myself. All of my experiences at the Boys and Girls Club gave me the courage to run for Youth of the Year as a 14-year-old sophomore. I didn't win, but what I take from that experience is that I was brave enough to share my story on a stage. Ready? Yes, because I refuse to let that failure stop me from running again. Set? Yes. Here I am to tell you that it doesn't matter what you look like, sound like, or where you come from, because it doesn't determine your worth. Here is Kimberly Hurd of the AR Gus Barksdale Boys and Girls Club, standing before you all today as a proud 16-year-old senior who is full of confidence and ready to fly as your Youth of the Year. Thank you.